There is a level of prosperity that does not begin in your bank account. It begins in the secret place of your mind, in the hidden chamber of your faith, in the silent decisions you make when no one is watching. Most people think prosperity is something they must chase, fight for, or beg God to release. But true prosperity is not attracted by desperation. It is attracted by alignment. It is drawn to the person whose thoughts, words, emotions, and actions begin to agree with the abundance God has already placed within them. Before we go deeper, write in the comments, "I am ready to attract prosperity." Do not write it as a simple sentence. Write it as a decision. Write it as a command to your own subconscious mind. Write it as a declaration before God that you are no longer available for scarcity, fear, confusion, or small thinking. Because the moment you begin to speak differently, you begin to think differently. And the moment you begin to think differently, your life begins to move in a new direction. Prosperity is not just money. Prosperity is peace in your heart, clarity in your decisions, wisdom in your choices, favor in your relationships, strength in your body, purpose in your work, and provision flowing through your life. Money is part of prosperity, but money alone is not the fullness of prosperity. A person can have money and still live in fear. A person can have possessions and still feel empty. But when prosperity comes from God, it brings increase without losing your soul, success without destroying your peace, and abundance without becoming a slave to the thing you prayed for. The Bible says in the book of 3 John, "Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers." Notice the order. Your outer life prospers as your soul prospers. Your finances, your opportunities, your relationships, and your future are deeply connected to what is happening inside you. If your soul is full of fear, even blessings can feel heavy. If your mind is full of lack, even opportunities can pass unnoticed. If your heart is full of doubt, even open doors can look like threats. This is why prosperity begins within. Napoleon Hill taught that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But the part most people ignore is the word believe. Many people can conceive prosperity. They can imagine having more, living better, becoming free, building something meaningful. But they do not truly believe it is possible for them. Somewhere deep inside, a silent voice says, "Not me, not now, not with my past, not with my family, not with my education, not with my mistakes." And that silent voice becomes more powerful than the dream. Prosperity cannot grow in a mind that secretly rejects it. That is why the first step to attract prosperity is not to run faster. It is to examine what you are agreeing with. Are you agreeing with God, or are you agreeing with fear? Are you agreeing with possibility, or are you agreeing with limitation? Are you agreeing with the promise, or are you agreeing with the pain of your past? Every day your mind signs invisible agreements. Every thought you repeat becomes a contract. Every emotion you rehearse becomes an atmosphere. Every word you speak becomes a seed. And the harvest of your life will always reveal the seeds you have allowed to remain in your mind. This is not to condemn you. This is to awaken you. Because if your current life has been influenced by old thoughts, then your future can be influenced by new thoughts. If lack was learned, abundance can be learned. If fear was repeated, faith can be repeated. If scarcity became familiar, prosperity can become familiar too. God did not create you to live mentally imprisoned. He gave you imagination, speech, faith, decision, and discipline. These are not random gifts. They are tools of creation. In Genesis, God speaks before creation appears. He says, "Let there be light," and light comes forth. The pattern is clear. Word comes before form. Inner command comes before outer evidence. In the same way, your words are shaping your world more than you realize. This does not mean you can speak empty words and avoid responsibility. Prosperity is not magic. Faith is not laziness. But your words reveal the condition of your faith, and your faith influences the direction of your actions. A person who says, "Nothing ever works for me," will move differently than a person who says, "God is guiding me into wisdom and increase." A person who says, "I am always broke," will notice different possibilities than a person who says, "I am learning to manage, multiply, and receive what God places in my hands." Your brain begins to search for what your mind has been trained to expect. When you expect rejection, you see rejection everywhere. When you expect failure, you interpret delays as proof that nothing is working. But when you expect favor, wisdom, and provision, you begin to notice ideas, people, timing, and opportunities that were always near you, but hidden behind the fog of fear. This is why prosperity requires a new inner identity. You cannot permanently attract what you are internally resisting. You cannot live in abundance while thinking like lack is your destiny. You cannot walk into a larger life while constantly rehearsing the old version of yourself. At some point, you must stop asking, how do I get prosperity, and start asking, who must I become to carry prosperity well? Napoleon Hill spoke often about definite purpose. He believed that a person without a clear purpose becomes easily controlled by fear, distraction, and the opinions of others. And this is one of the great secrets of prosperity. Prosperity flows more easily toward a person who knows why they want it, not just because they want more comfort, not just because they want to impress others, not just because they want to escape shame, but because they have a purpose that is bigger than appetite. Why do you want prosperity? Do you want to serve your family with peace instead of panic? Do you want to give more generously? Do you want to build something that blesses others? Do you want freedom to obey God without being trapped by constant financial anxiety? Do you want to create, heal, teach, lead, support, or inspire? When your desire for prosperity becomes connected to purpose, it gains spiritual strength. It becomes less about greed and more about stewardship. The Bible says in Deuteronomy that God gives the power to get wealth, that He may establish His covenant. That means prosperity is not only something God can give, it is also something God can empower you to create. He gives ability, wisdom, timing, relationships, strength, ideas, and discernment. But many people ask God for a harvest while refusing to develop the mind of a farmer. They ask for increase, but they do not prepare containers. They ask for open doors, but they do not strengthen their character enough to walk through them. Prosperity requires preparation. A bigger blessing requires a bigger inner capacity. If you want God to trust you with more, allow Him to mature what is already within you. Prosperity is attracted to order. Look at nature. Seeds grow in seasons, rivers flow through channels, trees grow from roots before fruit appears on branches. Nothing in creation is random. Everything prosperous has structure. And the same is true in your life. If your thoughts are chaotic, your actions will be scattered. If your emotions control you, your decisions will become unstable. If your words are always negative, your atmosphere will become heavy. If your habits are weak, your results will be fragile. But when your mind becomes ordered, your life begins to receive order. When your faith becomes steady, your steps become clearer. When your purpose becomes defined, your energy becomes focused. Pause for a moment and look honestly at your life. What have you been feeding your mind every morning? What have you been saying about money? What have you been expecting from your future? What kind of emotional atmosphere do you carry into your work, your home, your prayers, your decisions? Are you planting prosperity or rehearsing poverty? This question matters because your subconscious mind does not only respond to what you want, it responds to what you repeat with emotion. If you keep repeating, "I never have enough," your subconscious begins to accept lack as normal. If you keep saying, "I am not good with money," your subconscious begins to guide your behavior toward that identity. If you keep thinking, "People like me do not succeed," your mind will filter reality through that belief and ignore the evidence that could set you free. Napoleon Hill taught that the subconscious mind is influenced by repetition, emotion, and faith. The Bible teaches the same principle in a deeper spiritual way when it says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." Not as he thinks once, not as he says one time, but as he thinks in his heart. The heart represents the deep place of belief, emotion, identity, and expectation. So the real question is not, what do you want? The real question is, what do you truly believe you are allowed to receive? Some people pray for prosperity, but feel guilty imagining abundance. Some people desire increase but secretly believe money is evil. Some people want success but fear being judged. Some people want to rise but feel loyal to the limitations of their family history. And so they sabotage the very thing they are praying for. not because they are weak, but because their inner programming is divided. Jesus said no one can serve two masters. This applies to money, but it also reveals a mental principle. A divided inner world cannot produce a stable outer life. You cannot serve faith and fear at the same time. You cannot serve abundance and scarcity at the same time. You cannot serve purpose and procrastination at the same time. One will dominate the other. To attract prosperity, you must become internally unified. Your desire, your belief, your words, your emotions, and your actions must begin moving in the same direction. This is what alignment means. Alignment is when your prayer says yes, your mind says yes, your words say yes, and your habits say yes. Alignment is when you stop asking God to bless a version of you that refuses to grow, and you begin becoming the kind of person who can recognize, receive, and multiply the blessing. If this is speaking to your heart, take a second and like this video, not as a routine action, but as a small agreement with this message. And write in the comments, "My mind is aligned with prosperity." That phrase is not for the algorithm only. It is for your own spirit. It is a public declaration of an inner shift. There is a powerful moment when a person stops blaming everything outside and begins taking authority over what is happening inside. That moment is the beginning of transformation. Maybe your environment was difficult. Maybe your past was painful. Maybe people disappointed you. Maybe you were taught to fear money, distrust success, or settle for survival. But your past can explain your patterns without owning your future. You are not trapped unless you agree to remain the same. God can restore years. God can open doors. God can bring divine connections. God can give wisdom in a moment that changes the direction of your life. But He often begins by changing your thinking. Romans says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." It does not say, "Be transformed by complaining." It does not say, "Be transformed by waiting for every circumstance to become perfect." It says, "Be transformed by renewing your mind." A renewed mind sees differently. Where an old mind sees impossibility, a renewed mind sees instruction. Where an old mind sees delay, a renewed mind sees preparation. Where an old mind sees rejection, a renewed mind sees redirection. Where an old mind sees a closed door, a renewed mind asks, "What is God teaching me, and where is the next door?" Prosperity is often hidden inside problems. The solution someone is praying for may be inside the skill you are being called to develop. The income you desire may be connected to the value you have not yet learned to offer. The opportunity you want may require the discipline you have avoided. The connection you need may come after you become clear about your purpose. This is why prosperity is not attracted to wishing, it is attracted to growth. A poor mindset says, "Give me more before I change." A prosperous mindset says, "Change me so I can carry more." This is a deep truth. Many people want abundance because they think it will heal their inner chaos. But prosperity does not fix disorder. It magnifies what is already there. Money in the hands of fear becomes anxiety. Money in the hands of pride becomes destruction. Money in the hands of wisdom becomes service, freedom, and multiplication. That is why God cares about your heart before He expands your territory. In the prayer of Jabez, he says, "Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory." But the request is made to God, not to ego. The enlargement comes with dependence. The blessing comes with surrender. True prosperity says, "Lord, increase me, but also guide me. Bless me, but also shape me. Open doors, but also give me discernment. Give me more, but make me faithful." Because prosperity without wisdom can become a trap, but prosperity with wisdom becomes a testimony. So how do you begin attracting prosperity in a practical way? You begin with the atmosphere of your mind. Every morning, before the world has a chance to tell you who you are, you must speak truth over yourself. Do not wait for your feelings to lead you. Feelings are often echoes of yesterday. You must lead your feelings with faith. When you wake up, place your hand over your heart and say, "God is my source. I am guided by wisdom. I am available for divine ideas. I am disciplined, focused, and prepared for increase. Prosperity flows to me and through me for a greater purpose. I do not chase in fear. I move in faith. I do not serve money. I serve God, and money serves the purpose God placed in my hands." Say it slowly. Say it with emotion. Say it until your inner world begins to accept a higher truth. This is not empty affirmation. This is spiritual training. David encouraged himself in the Lord. He did not wait for someone else to repair his inner state. He spoke to his own soul. He said, "Why are you cast down, O my soul?" Hope in God. That is self-leadership. That is mental authority. That is faith becoming language. Napoleon Hill would call this auto-suggestion the deliberate practice of impressing a chosen belief upon the subconscious mind through repetition and emotion. The Bible would call it meditation, speaking and thinking on truth day and night until your path becomes prosperous and successful. In Joshua, God tells Joshua to meditate on the book of the law day and night, and then he will make his way prosperous and have good success. Notice again, prosperity is connected to meditation, not meditation as emptiness, but meditation as focused inner agreement with truth. What you meditate on, you magnify. What you magnify, you move toward. What you move toward, you eventually meet. If you meditate on fear, fear grows. If you meditate on lack, lack becomes familiar. If you meditate on resentment, bitterness becomes your atmosphere. But if you meditate on wisdom, faith, creativity, stewardship, and divine provision, your internal world begins to change. And when your internal world changes, your decisions change. When your decisions change, your results change. This is how invisible prosperity becomes visible. First, it becomes a thought. Then it becomes a belief. Then it becomes an emotion. Then it becomes a decision. Then it becomes an action. Then it becomes a habit. Then it becomes a result. People often admire the result, but they never saw the thought that started it. They admire the harvest, but they never saw the seed. They admire the open door, but they never saw the nights of mental renewal, prayer, discipline, and preparation. Do not despise the invisible stage. A seed looks small, but it carries a forest. A thought looks small, but it carries a destiny. A decision looks small, but it can redirect an entire life. When you choose one prosperous thought instead of one fearful thought, something changes. When you choose one disciplined action instead of one impulsive reaction, something changes. When you choose gratitude instead of complaint, something changes. Heaven sees small acts of faith that people overlook. Prosperity is not always loud in the beginning. Sometimes it begins as peace where there used to be panic. Sometimes it begins as clarity where there used to be confusion. Sometimes it begins as one new idea, one new contact, one new habit, one new conversation, one new level of courage. Do not ignore small beginnings. God often hides great harvests inside simple instructions. The widow in the Bible did not start with abundance. She started with a small jar of oil. But when she obeyed the instruction, the oil multiplied. The miracle was connected to what she already had. This is important. Many people ask God for what they do not have, while ignoring what is already in their hands. But prosperity often begins when you honor the small oil you already carry. What gift do you already have? What skill have you neglected? What wisdom did your pain teach you? What idea keeps returning to your mind? What opportunity have you been delaying because fear told you that you were not ready? What relationship needs attention? What habit needs correction? What small resource can be managed better? God multiplies what is surrendered, not what is ignored. If you want to attract prosperity, become faithful with your current measure. Manage what you have as if more is already on the way. Clean your environment, organize your finances, respect your time, strengthen your body, study your craft, improve your speech, honor your commitments, give with wisdom, save with discipline, invest in growth, remove distractions, protect your attention. Prosperity is attracted to the person who can be trusted with increase, and this is where many people miss it. They want prosperity to arrive as a rescue, but prosperity often arrives as responsibility. It asks you to become more intentional. It asks you to stop wasting energy. It asks you to stop speaking death over your future. It asks you to stop surrounding yourself with voices that worship limitation. It asks you to rise. There are people who love you, but they are not assigned to your next level. There are environments that are familiar, but they are not fruitful. There are habits that comfort you, but they are costing you. There are thoughts that feel normal, but they are not true. To attract prosperity, you must learn the holy art of release. Release the need to be understood by everyone. Release the addiction to complaining. Release the habit of comparing your journey to someone else. Release the belief that your past disqualifies you. Release the fear that success will make you lose yourself. Release the guilt of wanting a better life when your desire is aligned with God, wisdom, and service. A prosperous mind is not arrogant. It is free. It can celebrate others because it does not believe blessing is limited. It can give because it does not believe giving creates emptiness. It can learn because it does not pretend to know everything. It can rest because it does not believe anxiety is proof of responsibility. It can receive because it does not confuse humility with self-rejection. Some people think humility means refusing abundance, but true humility is agreeing with God, not shrinking beneath what He has spoken. If God calls you blessed, who are you to call yourself cursed? If God gives you gifts, who are you to bury them? If God opens a door, who are you to stay outside because fear feels safer? Humility does not reject prosperity. Humility receives prosperity with gratitude and uses it with wisdom. Abraham was blessed to be a blessing. Joseph prospered in Egypt and used his position to preserve lives. Solomon asked for wisdom and prosperity followed. The Proverbs woman was diligent, strategic, generous, and fruitful. Scripture does not glorify lack as holiness. It glorifies trust, wisdom, generosity, contentment, and obedience. Poverty is not proof of purity. Wealth is not proof of righteousness. The heart reveals the meaning of both. That is why your intention matters. Ask yourself, if prosperity increased in my life, who would benefit besides me? Would I become more generous or more fearful? Would I become more faithful or more distracted? Would I use increase to serve purpose or to feed insecurity? These questions purify the desire. They bring prosperity into alignment with calling. Now take a slow breath. Imagine your life with more than enough. Not just enough money, but enough peace, enough clarity, enough courage, enough wisdom, enough discipline. Imagine waking up without the heavy feeling of panic. Imagine working with purpose. Imagine paying your bills with gratitude. Imagine giving without fear. Imagine having ideas that serve people and create income. Imagine your home filled with order. Imagine your heart free from the shame of survival. Imagine being a channel of blessing. Do not rush this image. Your imagination is not a toy. It is a spiritual canvas. Napoleon Hill called imagination the workshop of the mind. The Bible shows again and again that vision matters. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Vision gives your energy a direction. Without vision, your mind returns to old patterns. With vision, your mind begins to organize itself around a new possibility. But vision must be felt. A cold vision does not transform. A vision mixed with faith becomes powerful. Feel the gratitude now, before the evidence appears. Feel the peace now, before the bank account changes. Feel the dignity now, before others recognize you. Feeling is not pretending. Feeling is rehearsing the state you are becoming. Your future self must become familiar before your future life becomes visible. This is why you must stop practicing the emotions of lack. Every time you rehearse panic, you strengthen panic. Every time you rehearse envy, you strengthen envy. Every time you rehearse helplessness, you strengthen helplessness. But every time you rehearse gratitude, courage, faith, order, and expectation, you strengthen the inner condition that can hold prosperity. The mind learns through repetition. The spirit is strengthened through devotion. The body follows through practice. So begin practicing prosperity internally before it fully appears externally. Speak like someone guided by God. Move like someone preparing for increase. Decide like someone whose life matters. Work like someone whose gifts are valuable. Rest like someone who trusts the Father. Give like someone who knows the source is not empty. Learn like someone who expects to grow. Pray like someone who believes heaven hears. And when fear rises, do not worship it. Observe it, answer it, and return to truth. Fear may say, "What if nothing changes?" Faith answers, "My mind is being renewed and my steps are being ordered." Fear may say, "You have failed before." Faith answers, "I have learned, and God can use even my mistakes." Fear may say, "You are too late." Faith answers, "God restores time and opens doors in due season." Fear may say, "There is not enough." Faith answers, "My Father knows what I need, and He gives wisdom to create, receive, and multiply." This is not denial. This is dominion. You are not denying challenges. You are refusing to let challenges define your identity. You are not pretending bills do not exist. You are choosing not to let bills become your God. You are not ignoring work. You are making sure your work is fueled by faith, not panic. You are not escaping reality. You are changing the inner reality from which your outer reality is shaped. If this part is opening something inside you, write in the comments, "I receive wisdom to prosper." This is a different kind of comment. It is not only about attraction, it is about maturity. Because prosperity without wisdom fades, but prosperity with wisdom multiplies. Wisdom teaches you that not every opportunity is from God. Some opportunities pay money but steal peace. Some doors look golden but lead to compromise. Some partnerships look profitable but carry confusion. Some desires look like prosperity but are really insecurity wearing expensive clothes. That is why you must ask not only, "Can this increase me?" You must also ask, "Can I stay aligned with God while carrying this?" Prosperity that pulls you away from God is too expensive. The blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow with it. This does not mean there will never be effort, responsibility, or challenge. It means that what comes from God will not require you to lose your soul to keep it. Godly prosperity carries peace at its root. Even when there is work, there is grace. Even when there is stretching, there is purpose. Even when there is pressure, there is guidance. So do not chase every shiny thing. Attract prosperity by becoming deeply rooted. Trees that bear fruit do not chase rain. They deepen their roots. And when the season comes, they are ready to receive. Your roots are your beliefs, your values, your disciplines, your relationship with God, your integrity when nobody sees, your ability to remain steady when emotions rise. A shallow person may attract money quickly and lose it quickly. A rooted person can build slowly and become unshakable. There is a prosperity that comes suddenly, but there is also a prosperity that is built faithfully. Do not despise the faithful kind. The world loves sudden elevation, but God often honors hidden preparation. David was anointed before he was crowned. Joseph dreamed before he ruled. Moses was shaped in the wilderness before he led a nation. Jesus lived 30 years in preparation before his public ministry. Hidden seasons are not wasted seasons. They are root seasons. Maybe you are in a root season right now. Maybe it feels like nothing is happening, but your mind is being renewed. Your character is being strengthened. Your discernment is being sharpened. Your motives are being purified. Your discipline is being formed. Your faith is becoming deeper than excitement. And when prosperity arrives, you will not be destroyed by it because you were prepared in secret. This is why patience is part of prosperity. Not passive patience, active patience. The kind that keeps sowing, keeps learning, keeps praying, keeps improving, keeps believing, keeps showing up. The farmer does not scream at the soil. He plants, waters, protects, and trusts the process. You must do the same with your life. Plant the right thoughts. Water them with emotion. Protect them from negative influences. Give them time. Act when wisdom speaks. Rest when God says rest. Correct what needs correction. Keep your heart clean, keep your vision alive, and guard your ears. What you hear repeatedly becomes what you think naturally. If you constantly listen to scarcity, gossip, anger, fear, and defeat, your mind will begin to carry those frequencies. But if you listen to truth, wisdom, testimony, instruction, and faith, your internal atmosphere will change. Faith comes by hearing. Fear also comes by hearing. Choose what enters your ears because it will eventually come out of your mouth and shape your decisions. Some conversations are expensive. They cost you clarity. Some content is expensive. It costs you peace. Some environments are expensive. They cost you identity. And some relationships are expensive. They cost you courage. Prosperity requires protection of attention. Your attention is one of your greatest currencies. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Where your energy flows, your life grows. If your attention is always on what is missing, lack grows. If your attention is always on what others have, envy grows. If your attention is always on your failures, shame grows. But if your attention is on God, wisdom, purpose, gratitude, and right action, Prosperity begins to grow from the inside out. This is why gratitude is one of the strongest prosperity practices. Gratitude tells your nervous system that you are not in danger. Gratitude tells your subconscious that provision exists. Gratitude tells your spirit that God has already been faithful. Gratitude breaks the illusion that nothing is working. It opens your eyes to what is already moving. It turns small things into sacred evidence. Before asking for more, thank God for what is already in your hands. Thank Him for breath. Thank Him for strength. Thank Him for ideas. Thank Him for lessons. Thank Him for people who helped you. Thank Him for doors that closed because they protected you. Thank Him for doors that opened because they directed you. Thank Him for the seed, even before the harvest. Gratitude is not the denial of desire. It is the purification of desire. It says, I am thankful now and I am available for more. I am not desperate, but I am expectant. I am not empty, but I am expanding. I am not begging from lack, but receiving from trust. This state is powerful because desperation often pushes prosperity away. Desperation makes you rush, accept less than your value, ignore red flags, and make decisions from panic. But gratitude creates steadiness. A grateful person can think clearly. A grateful person can hear wisdom. A grateful person can recognize opportunity without worshipping it. Prosperity is attracted to peace because peace creates clarity. When your mind is calm, you can see the next step. When your spirit is anchored, you can make better decisions. When your emotions are not ruling you, you can recognize divine timing. This is why prayer is not only asking. Prayer is alignment. Prayer brings your inner world back under the government of God. Prayer reminds you that you are not alone, not abandoned, not forgotten, not limited to your own strength. Every night before you sleep, release the day. Do not take fear into your dreams. Do not take resentment into your subconscious. Do not fall asleep rehearsing lack. The moments before sleep are sacred because your conscious mind becomes quieter and your deeper mind becomes more receptive. What you plant before sleep often continues working beneath the surface. So create a nightly prosperity practice. Turn off the noise, breathe slowly. Thank God for 3 things from the day. Forgive what needs to be released. Speak a few words of faith. Visualize yourself walking in wisdom, peace, and provision. Then say, Lord, guide my mind while I rest. Give me ideas, clarity, and divine direction. I sleep in peace because you are my source. Then rest. Do not try to control everything. Prosperity is not attracted to a mind that never rests. Even the land had Sabbath. Even creation had rhythm. Rest is a declaration of trust. It says, I am not the source, God is. I do my part and I allow Him to do what only He can do. Napoleon Hill understood that the mind continues working beyond conscious effort. Many breakthroughs come after a period of release, not pressure. You may pray at night and wake with an idea. You may stop forcing and suddenly recognize a solution. You may rest and see a connection you missed while anxious. This is not accidental. A calm mind becomes more receptive to wisdom. Prosperity often arrives as an idea before it arrives as income. Respect ideas. Write them down. Test them with wisdom. Pray over them. Develop them. Many people ask God for money, and God gives an idea. They ask for opportunity, and God gives instruction. They ask for increase, and God gives discipline. They miss the answer because it came in seed form. Do not reject the seed because it does not look like the harvest. An idea may look small. A conversation may look ordinary. A skill may seem simple. A chance to serve may appear insignificant. But prosperity often enters through humble doors. The question is, are you awake enough to recognize it? This is where focus becomes essential. A distracted mind cannot attract and build prosperity with consistency. Distraction leaks power. Every time you give your best energy to things that do not matter, you delay the development of what does. Your future requires attention. Your purpose requires attention. Your finances require attention. Your relationship with God requires attention. Your mind requires attention. Where there is no focus, prosperity becomes accidental. Where there is focus, prosperity becomes cultivated. Choose one area of your life that needs order. Do not try to fix everything at once. Begin with one. Maybe it is your morning routine. Maybe it is your spending. Maybe it is your speech. Maybe it is your emotional reactions. Maybe it is your work ethic. Maybe it is your prayer life. Choose one area and bring it under discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is devotion to the future God is building in you. A prosperous person does not only ask, "What do I want now?" A prosperous person asks, "What am I building?" That question changes everything. Impulse asks, "What feels good right now?" Purpose asks, "What will bear fruit later?" Impulse spends to impress. Purpose manages to multiply. Impulse reacts. Purpose responds. Impulse quits when uncomfortable. Purpose remains faithful. Prosperity loves purpose because purpose gives money a mission. Without purpose, money becomes entertainment. With purpose, money becomes a tool. Without purpose, success becomes ego. With purpose, success becomes service. Without purpose, increase becomes pressure. With purpose, increase becomes stewardship. This is why you must define what prosperity means for your life. Not according to social media, not according to comparison, not according to people who do not know your calling. Define prosperity before God. Maybe prosperity for you means becoming debt-free and peaceful. Maybe it means building a business that gives you freedom and blesses others. Maybe it means supporting your family with dignity. Maybe it means having time to serve, create, and rest. Maybe it means becoming generous in ways you once only dreamed of. When prosperity has a clear definition, your mind can move toward it with clarity. Say this gently within yourself. Prosperity is not far from me. Prosperity is forming within me. God is renewing my mind. Wisdom is guiding my steps. My gifts are valuable. My work is meaningful. My words carry power. My habits are becoming stronger. My heart is ready to receive and steward increase. Let those words settle. Something changes when you stop begging life to choose you and begin preparing yourself to receive what God has already assigned to your path. You become less frantic. You become more observant. You become less jealous. You become more creative. You become less afraid. You become more consistent. Consistency is one of the most spiritual prosperity principles because it reveals faith beyond emotion. Anyone can feel inspired for one day, but prosperity is shaped by what you do repeatedly. Repeated thoughts, repeated prayers, repeated choices, repeated habits, repeated courage, repeated learning, repeated generosity, repeated discipline. The life you want is hidden in what you repeat. If you repeat fear, you build limitation. If you repeat wisdom, you build stability. If you repeat complaint, you build heaviness. If you repeat gratitude, you build openness. If you repeat distraction, you build delay. If you repeat focus, you build momentum. Ask yourself, what am I repeating? This question can change your life. Because what you repeat, you become. What you become, you attract. What you attract, you must be prepared to manage. And what you manage well, God can multiply. There is a reason Jesus spoke about faithfulness in little things. Little things are not little. They are tests of identity. How you handle a small amount reveals how you may handle a large amount. How you treat a small opportunity reveals how you may treat a great opportunity. How you speak in a hidden season reveals how you may carry a public season. Do not wait for more to become faithful. Become faithful, and more will know where to land. Prosperity is also connected to generosity. This is not about giving from pressure or manipulation. True generosity is not fear-based. It is love-based. It comes from the understanding that you are a channel, not a container. When water flows, it stays fresh. When it is trapped, it becomes stagnant. In the same way, prosperity flows through people who understand circulation. Give wisdom, give encouragement, give value, give service, give kindness, give money when led and able. Give attention to what matters. Give your gifts to the world with excellence. A generous life signals abundance. It tells your heart, I am not empty. I have something to offer. And when you offer value, prosperity often returns in many forms. But remember, generosity must walk with wisdom. Do not give to be seen. Do not give to buy love. Do not give to avoid boundaries. Do not give from guilt. Give from alignment. Give because God has placed something in your hands and you trust Him enough not to live clenched and afraid. An open hand can release and receive. A closed hand can hold, but it cannot welcome. Now consider your relationship with money itself. Many people want to attract prosperity, but they carry resentment toward money. They call it dirty, stressful, impossible, evil, or dangerous. But money is a tool. It reveals the heart of the one who holds it. In the hands of selfishness, it can harm. In the hands of wisdom, it can heal, build, support, feed, educate, protect, and bless. Do not worship money. Do not fear money. Do not hate money. Learn to steward it. Say, money is a tool, and I use it with wisdom. God is my source, and I am not controlled by fear. I receive provision with gratitude, manage it with discipline, multiply it with wisdom, and use it with purpose. This kind of language begins to heal your inner relationship with prosperity. Some of you listening right now have lived with financial fear for so long that peace feels unfamiliar. But peace can become your new normal. Order can become your new normal. Increase can become your new normal. Wise decisions can become your new normal. You are not bound to repeat what you saw growing up. You are not cursed to reproduce the same financial patterns. In Christ, old things pass away and new things become possible. But new things require new agreements. You must stop agreeing with sentences like, I am bad with money. Nothing works for me. I always lose. I will never get ahead. I am not smart enough. I am too old. I am too late. I do not have what it takes. Replace them with truth. I am learning. I am growing. God gives me wisdom. My mind is being renewed. I can improve. I can build. I can receive. I can manage. I can create value. I can become disciplined. I can hear God's direction. I can prosper in my soul and in my life. These words may feel uncomfortable at first because your old identity is resisting eviction. Let it resist. Keep speaking truth. Keep walking in truth. Keep acting in truth. Eventually, the old voice becomes weaker and the new identity becomes stronger. This is the process of transformation. Not one emotional moment, but a repeated return to truth until truth becomes your home. If you have made it to this point, pause and recognize something. Your mind has already been receiving new seeds. This is not just information. This is reprogramming. This is a renewing of the inner atmosphere, so write in the comments, I am becoming a faithful steward of prosperity. That sentence carries maturity. It tells your mind that you are not just trying to get, you are becoming ready to carry. And as you become ready, you must also take action. Prosperity does not bless laziness. Faith without works is dead. But action must come from alignment, not panic. The difference is felt in the spirit. Panic action feels frantic, rushed, heavy, and unclear. Aligned action feels focused, courageous, and guided, even when it requires effort. Panic says, I must force this, or I will be nothing. Faith says, I will obey the next wise step because God is with me. Take the next wise step, not 10 steps, not the whole staircase, the next step. Make the call, study the skill, create the plan, organize the numbers, apologize where needed, apply for the opportunity, start the project, improve the product, ask for guidance, save the small amount, remove the distraction, wake up earlier, go to sleep with intention, speak with more dignity, finish what you started. Prosperity respects completion. Many people start with excitement and quit when emotion fades. But finishers attract trust. Finishers build confidence. Finishers prove to themselves that their word has weight. Start small, but finish. A completed small action carries more power than 1,000 imagined plans. God can bless movement. It is difficult to steer a parked car. Begin moving with wisdom and correction can come along the way. But do not confuse movement with noise. You do not need to announce every step. Some prosperity must be protected in silence while it grows. Not everyone needs access to your vision in seed form. Joseph shared his dreams with people who were not ready to honor them, and he faced resistance. Learn discernment. Share with people who carry wisdom, faith, and integrity. Protect your vision from mockery, envy, and premature exposure. A seed exposed too early can be destroyed before it takes root. Pray in secret. Build in secret. Learn in secret. Heal in secret. prepare in secret, and when the fruit appears, let it speak. There is also a spiritual battle around prosperity, because prosperity gives you influence. If your mind is easily discouraged, you may abandon your assignment. If your emotions are easily manipulated, you may sell your peace. If your identity is weak, you may use success to prove your worth instead of serve your purpose. This is why inner strength must grow with outer increase. The more you prosper, the more grounded you must become. Stay close to God, stay teachable, stay grateful, stay generous, stay honest, stay disciplined, stay aware of your motives. Let prosperity deepen your humility, not inflate your pride. Let increase expand your service, not your ego. Let open doors remind you of grace, not superiority. Because the highest prosperity is not having more things, it is becoming more aligned with who God created you to be. When you are aligned, prosperity is not only something you receive, it is something you carry. You walk into a room and bring peace. You speak and bring clarity. You work and bring excellence. You give and bring relief. You create and bring value. You lead and bring courage. You pray and bring atmosphere. You become a source of life. This is attraction at the deepest level. Prosperity is attracted to the person who has become a vessel of prosperity. Not perfect, available, not flawless, growing, not fearless, faithful. You do not need to have everything figured out today. You only need to choose your new agreement. Agree with faith. Agree with wisdom. Agree with increase. Agree with discipline. Agree with healing. Agree with God's ability to do more through you than your past ever allowed you to imagine. The old season may have trained you to survive, but the new season is calling you to build. Survival asks, how do I get through today? Building asks, what am I creating for tomorrow? Survival protects what is left. Building multiplies what is possible. Survival is understandable when you have been hurt, but you were not created to live forever in survival. God is able to bring you into a spacious place, but first, He teaches your mind to breathe again. Take another slow breath. You are not behind beyond repair. You are not empty beyond filling. You are not broken beyond restoration. You are not too late for wisdom. You are not too far for grace. Prosperity can begin again in the place where you decide to stop agreeing with defeat. Let this truth settle deep in you. Prosperity is not chasing you because of luck. Prosperity is drawn toward alignment. When your mind is renewed, your words change. When your words change, your emotions shift. When your emotions shift, your choices improve. When your choices improve, your habits strengthen. When your habits strengthen, your results transform. And when your results transform, your life becomes evidence that inner renewal creates outer increase. This is how to attract prosperity. You attract prosperity by becoming prosperous in your soul. You attract prosperity by thinking in agreement with God's abundance. You attract prosperity by speaking life over your future. You attract prosperity by healing your relationship with money. You attract prosperity by creating value. You attract prosperity by acting with faith and discipline. You attract prosperity by becoming a wise steward. You attract prosperity by giving your gifts with excellence. You attract prosperity by resting in God as your source. Not one of these truths is separate from the others. Together, they form a new way of living. So from this day forward, do not wake up as a victim of your old programming. Wake up as a steward of your mind. Do not speak carelessly over your future. Speak as someone who understands that words are seeds. Do not chase prosperity from fear. Become aligned with prosperity through faith. Do not envy someone else's harvest. Tend your own soil. Do not despise your small beginning. Honor the seed. Do not panic in the waiting. Prepare in the waiting. Do not ask only for more. Become ready for more. And when prosperity begins to flow, remember the source. It was God who gave you breath. God who gave you the gift. God who gave you the idea. God who opened the door. God who renewed your mind. God who strengthened your hands. God who carried you when you were tired. God who restored your hope when you almost gave up. Let your prosperity become worship. Let your increase become generosity. Let your success become testimony. Let your peace become proof that God can prosper a soul from the inside out. Now, before this video ends, make this declaration with intention. Say it slowly. Say it as if your future is listening. I am no longer available for scarcity thinking. My mind is being renewed. My heart is aligned with God. My gifts are valuable. My steps are ordered. My words create life. My habits support my purpose. I receive wisdom to prosper. I receive courage to act. I receive discipline to steward. I receive peace to wait. I receive faith to believe. Prosperity is flowing to me and through me for the glory of God and the good of others. Amen. If this message spoke to you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment saying, "Prosperity begins within me." Share this with someone who needs to stop chasing from fear and start aligning with faith. And remember this truth every day. You do not attract lasting prosperity by becoming desperate for more. You attract it by becoming aligned, faithful, wise, and ready to carry what God is preparing to release.